In this video, I'll be explaining the two types of calorimeters used in chemistry. So first of all, let's define what a calorimeter is. A calorimeter. So basically, it's a device used to measure heat flow. So, used to measure heat flow. And well, we have two types of calorimeters. The first one is the constant volume calorimeter. And the second one, the constant pressure calorimeter. I'll be talking about each of those separately. So first, we talked about the constant volume calorimeter. So constant volume. I'll just abbreviate it as cal. So in a constant volume calorimeter, we have a sample that is ignited via an ignition wire, but that doesn't really matter. So our equation, I'll give it to you first, it's the Q of the reaction, I'll just write as Rxn, is equal to minus C calorimeter times delta T. And so let's write what each of these means. The Q of the reactions, we said that a calorimeter measures heat flow, so it's just going to be the heat flow. The C subscript cal stands for the heat capacity of the calorimeter. So I talked about heat capacity in the previous video. If you're not confident with what heat capacity is, you should probably watch it. And so the C cal is the heat capacity of the calorimeter. And finally, the delta T is just the change in temperature. Or, mathematically, it's represented as T final minus T initial. And well, in the problems, you'll be given the heat capacity of the calorimeter usually, and you'll just have to obtain the change in temperature. But I'll be doing problems in the next video, just to keep it short. Now we said that the other type of calorimeter is called a constant pressure calorimeter. Constant pressure. And this type of calorimeter requires a little bit more stuff. It requires a mass, the specific heat of the system, and the temperature. So our formula would be the Q, that's for the heat flow, is equal to the mass times the heat capacity or specific heat capacity times delta T. So just to write it out again, Q is heat flow, M is mass, C is specific heat capacity, and the delta T is a change in temperature. And for those of you in the medical field or wanting to get in the medical field, a good way to remember this equation is to think of the test you'll have to take, the MCAT. So if you look at it, it's instead of having a delta there, it could represent an A and just be written as the MCAT. So you can think of it as the MCAT equation for the constant pressure calorimeter. And for you, those of you who don't know it, the MCAT is the test that you'll have to take to get into medical school. And well, those are the two types of calorimeters. I'll be doing a practice set video, and it's going to be the following one. I'll also put the link as always.